Imagine waking up 4.7 million years ago. No cities, no technology, just you, the vast land, and everything you need to survive hanging by a thread. What did you do? How did you live? This is the story of adaptation, not of kings and empires, but of the day-by-day endurance that built our very existence. Nearly 2 million years ago, a new kind of ancestor walked this shifting earth, Homo erectus. The world they knew was in constant flux. Massive climate swings were turning forests into open grasslands, and water sources could vanish overnight. Picture them. With longer legs and shorter arms, they were built for distance, for walking and running across these new open landscapes. They learned to make stone tools. They likely learned to control fire. Life was unpredictable, but they were evolving to meet it. So how did they persist? First, they moved. By walking upright, our ancestors freed their hands. This wasn't just a convenience, it was a revolution. Free hands could carry food, protect the young, and most importantly, they could create. They could shape stone.
At a site in Tanzania called Ngaji Nanyori, researchers found that Homo erectus repeatedly returned to specific water holes. They brought specialized tools with them, scrapers and notched instruments designed for butchery. This reveals a profound level of foresight. They weren't just reacting to a lucky find, they were planning. Go to the water, wait for the animals, hunt, use the right tool for the job, and move on. They were adapting intelligently. And here's where their story gets surprising. We once thought early humans like Homo erectus stuck to comfortable, resource-rich environments. But the evidence tells a different story. They were thriving in steppe desert landscapes, harsh, arid places we assumed only much later humans could conquer. In dry terrain without reliable rain, they found water, hunted, and survived. We know this because they left their mark. Stone tools, butchered animal bones, and even the remains of arid climate plants they likely ate. It shows that the ultimate survival trait wasn't just strength, but flexibility. The ability to change when your entire world is changing around you. But survival isn't a solo mission, it's about community. Fossil evidence suggests Homo erectus cared for old and weak individuals in their groups. And then there was fire. Controlling fire offered warmth on cold nights and safety from predators.
But it also unlocked new worlds of nutrition. Cooking food makes it easier to digest, releasing more energy that could fuel a growing brain and a recovering body. Combined with better tools, like the two-sided hand axe, they elevated their game. They weren't just waiting for their next meal, they were creating opportunities and preparing for times of scarcity. When we look back at these ancestors, the word primitive is a trap. They were smart, resilient survivors. What allowed life to continue? Movement, foresight, social bonds, and an incredible ability to read their environment. In a sense, the terrain has changed, but the underlying survival code remains. They rode out climate swings in periods of intense scarcity. Next time you face uncertainty, think of a hominin standing at a waterhole in a parched landscape. They made a decision. They used a tool. They watched each other's backs. And they survived. We inherit that story, and in it, we might just find hope.